there was a problem of diversity before legal aid cuts. And I think in a lot of the statements that are made by the people at the top of the profession or representing the profession, you could be forgiven for thinking that 2012 comes along and suddenly we've stopped being diverse because there's no more legal aid. And actually, there was a problem before that. And we had the same discussion with universities where they said, well, when fees go up to £9,000, loads of disadvantaged people are going to stop going to university. The latest UCAS figures say that applications and acceptances are at a record high under the new fee regime. That's not to say that debt doesn't sometimes put people off, but the drop for 18-year-olds has been amongst middle-class families who won't get the same financial support, and there has been also a drop with mature and part-time students as well. Now, on the question about women, you know, I have another issue here, I think, which is that it's still assumed often that if you are female, that if you're from a BME group, that if you're from a low-income group, legal aid is where you should be looking. And I have a problem with that because, you know, we work with a group who, yes, a lot of them are very interested in that work, but some of them actually are really interested in commercial work. They're 16, 17, they want to go into commercial work, and they'll often be sneered at because it's not what you should be doing. You know, somehow if you're poor, you should only ever work with poor people, whereas for another family it's perfectly respectable and stable and sensible career choice. But also, you know, we can hear time and time again from people who are being shifted over that way. Oh, you want to go into the legal profession? Why don't you head over this way, you know, women into family and what have you. And I think it's a real problem, and I think the profession needs to ask itself what is happening there, because it shouldn't be legal aid work which is responsible for social mobility in the legal profession. This should be across the profession.
I think there is an issue about the feminisation of the legal aid sector, and the problem with legal aid cuts is that it may be that the female lawyer is going to be more hit than the male lawyer, because if there are already more lawyers who are female in the legal aid profession and the cuts come, then the consequences may well be that jobs go. So I think it is a real concern. And conversely to that, I was listening to Courtney Griffiths today at the Human Rights Conference at the Law Society, and he's of the opposite view, that he thinks it will become a more feminine element of the profession of legal aid lawyers will be increasingly female. Now, my own practice is probably split 50-50 as to those practicing legal aid between male and female. I suspect that that's not representative of the whole sector.